feet. Styles off the top rope. Phenomenal forearm. Cover. Could that be the...
Hey guys, we got the WrestleMania coming up real soon. This is the final Raw before WrestleMania. Let's see what happened on this Raw before WrestleMania. Let's check into the red carpet ring about it.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey guys, we're here at the red carpet ring. We'll talk about the WrestleMania Go Home show, the Raw before WrestleMania. You guys hit the likes as we come into the ring. We're going to talk about WWE Raw for this week. Now, starting off, we're going to go over the highlights. We have Gunther here. He cut a great promo to start off, kick off Raw. We did have him talk about how, he did what he did to Jey Uso. How he also talked about how he took out Jimmy. And basically, Gunther was on one. He had a very good promo here. He talked about how it's pretty much going to be the end of Jey Uso. Jey Uso has no chance of beating him at WrestleMania 41 for the World Heavyweight Championship. And the crowd really was booing Gunther. So that was a good promo by Gunther. Let's move on to the next part of the show. We had a one-on-one match. We had one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan, going one-on-one against the multiple-time world champion, Bayley. Now, both of these women had a very good match. I will say that Bayley and Liv really tested each other to the limit. Liv Morgan, I have to say, has got much better in the ring. I love what she did here. So this was very good for what she did on this in this pretty much match. Now, it looked like Liv was going to get Bayley at some points. It looked like she was getting close. But at the end of the day, it looked like she was going to get it, but, they was trying to cheat. Raquel was trying to cheat. Lyra stepped in, helped in for Bayley. And at the end of the day, Bayley pinned Liv Morgan 1, 2, 3. So Bayley looking strong to the Tag Team Championship match alongside Lyra against Raquel and Liv. Now, we had here AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. Another good match on the card. This is the first match Karrion Kross had, I believe, since last fall. Or last summer, for that matter. I think it was September. But either way, AJ Styles still showed that he got it. He's still the phenomenal one at the end of the day. I will say very good moments. And AJ Styles pinned Karrion Kross before Logan Paul came in and hit the finish on AJ Styles. Let's go on to the next match of the card. Or next segment, I should say. Jey Uso. He came out again. No Yeet merchandise shirt. He came out in all black. Had the Yeet theme song playing, all of that, and he pretty much said that it was building his momentum, and he cut a very good promo. It wasn't fast, it wasn't too, all over the place. He really took his time to speak, made much sense what he was saying, and this is pretty much him similar to what Gunther did, giving himself the most momentum head to his World Heavyweight Championship match opportunity against Gunther for the world title, because look, Jay gotta win. But there was a good segment by Jey Uso. Let's move on to the next part. We also had here the final segment of the show. We had Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Now, first Roman Reigns came out, Tribal Chief. He said, he came out, he wanted to acknowledge he was ignoring Paul Heyman. Everything else, Roman was just, he just wasn't feeling it. Now, we know also that later on, that Seth Rollins came out to talk to Roman Reigns. They had their back and forth. A very good segment there. And it pretty much came down to, it's going to be who's going to win at WrestleMania in a triple threat match. And long story short, all these men start going at it. Now, we know that Roman Reigns was listening to what Seth Rollins was saying. He attacked Seth, and then CM Punk came down. He can't get Roman. Roman speared CM Punk. But Seth Rollins came back. He popped Roman Reigns in the back of the chair, reminiscent of the 2014 Shield breakup. And he also cursed out not just CM Punk, he also cursed out Roman Reigns. And that was the end of Monday Night Raw. But it was a very good segment there. Seth Rollins looking strong into the triple threat match for night one in the main event of WrestleMania 41. I might add. So this is a very good build-up. I like how WWE built up all the storylines pretty much until headed to WrestleMania. So we got to see what's going to go on. But they definitely let us go home happy. And it's good. It's good to see that it was a good build for all the storylines headed into WrestleMania 41, night one and night two. So we got to see how it's going to go. And pretty much at the end of the day, this is everything that happened on Monday Night Raw. Everything. It's a very good go-home show. If you guys look over, these were main highlights that I covered of the show and everything else for that matter. So it was very good. Now, normally I go over what went wrong, what went right, but it wasn't too much to say that went wrong. Everything went right. It was a very good episode here. It's just nothing else to explain. I mean, we get ready for WrestleMania. There's nothing else more to build. Everything was built right from the main event scene to the mid-card scene, even to the tag team scene. So I like how that was built up for the whole show as for the episode. But I'm very anticipated what's going to happen at WrestleMania 41. And for once, there was no Cody Rhodes or John Cena. They saved that for WrestleMania. But let me go over the rating for Monday Night Raw for this week. And after some thought, my rating on Monday Night Raw, I got to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Now, the only thing I didn't like was, sometimes the segments were a little bit too much, and nothing's perfect, but it was almost a perfect show. Now, you guys can always check out in the community tab. Let's see what people in the community had to say about Monday Night Raw. We had 21% give it a B, 6% gave it a C. Everyone rated it, and then most people gave it an A for the most part, but you guys let me know. You guys vote if you haven't already. Let me know, what did you think of Monday Night Raw for this week? I would say very good show. I don't have too much to say once again. I just can't wait to the Raw after WrestleMania, what's going to happen next. That I can't wait for. I know you guys can't either. Well, we're going to head to the bonus round very soon, and we're going to talk about the WWE Tag Team Division scene. We're going to get into that shortly, right now. Now, let's talk about the WWE Tag Team Division. And we are not just talking about one tag team belt, both tag team belts. The WWE World Tag Team Championships, that's on Monday Night Raw, and the WWE Tag Team Championships, that's on Friday Night SmackDown. Let's talk about these belts because we got a big problem here. And we're going to first talk about the World Tag Team Championships. Now, the championships on the World Tag Team is currently held by the War Raiders on Monday Night Raw. Now, let's look over the history of these championships, the defense, and let's talk about what's the problem. And the main issue I'm going to talk about with these belts is why they need to merge it into one belt, not just two. Let's look over the history of that, shall we? Now, we look here. We had Miz and R-Truth, and I'm talking about the brand new design, by the way. We're talking about Miz and R-Truth had it for 79 days. Judgment Day, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, 175 days. And currently, the War Raiders at 119 plus days. So 3 different teams have held the new design of the World Tag Team Championships. Now, I will say out of all the teams, the Awesome Truth was probably the best champions because they, not just how many times they defend the belt, storyline-wise, character, they brought a little bit of oomph into the belts. But as a whole, we see that they defended belts against Alpha Academy, DIY, Judgment Day, AOP, and they finally lost the belts to the next champions, which I missed was Judgment Day. Now, we know Judgment Day, they barely defended these belts at all. Now, 175 days, that's literally almost I want to say almost 6 months. Yeah, I would say almost, a long time. I would say a good, if you want to add it up, we would say a good 6, 7, 8 months they had these belts, barely defended them. it got to the point that these guys never defended the belts, that Adam Pearce even mentioned it to Judgment that they barely defended it. So another thing too, War Raiders, we know they're the current champions. They really haven't defended belts that much either. The most spotlight that the War Raiders got since winning tag team belts is having the brand new heel version of the New Day challenging them for the belts at WWE WrestleMania 41. But I will have to say these championships since the new design came out under Triple H regime have been lackluster at best. And they need to just cut it with it. Now let's move on to the SmackDown Championship belts for the tag team division, known as the WWE Tag Team Championships, currently held by the Street Profits that they just won in Spain not too long ago. And I talked about Street Profits not being on the WrestleMania 41 card. I made a video about that recently, but we're not even talking about their run. We're just talking about the belts as a whole. Now, these belts here, let's look at the champions in history. Again, since the new design under Triple H regime, we had here Tommaso Ciampa, the DIY held for 28 days, Bloodline 84 days. We had that history there. And we also have, if you guys remember, we had Austin Theory, the champions that held the 8-10 Down Under for 90 days. Let's look over more of the history of the belts. We had just these guys now holding the belts. If you guys look at the history, a lot of these champions didn't hold on to the belts that long. Now, compared to Monday Night Raw, the World Tag Team belts, they held on a little bit longer. But these guys, instead of them holding on longer, it was just playing hot potato with the championships. So that's not good at all. And we know recently, before, it was MCMG, when they first came to SmackDown, they only held to the belts for 42 days. Not even 2 whole months. And the Street Profits been holding on their current champions. DIY, their second run was 98 days, so a little under 3 months. And Street Profits held to the belt now for a month. They just made a month with the belts. Now let's look over the history of when these championships were defended on the WWE Tag Team belts. Now, if we look here, like I said, not too many defenses, but also shorter title reigns. We see that in the history here with DIY, for example, 8-Town Down Under. 8-Town Down Under, they're actually similar to the Miz and R-Truth. I see it with the whole pattern. The first tag team champions of the new design, they actually had one of the better reigns. It seems like as soon as both teams, 8-Town Down Under and also Truth, it's like it just goes down. And like I said, this is the problem with both of these belts here. They're not defended enough. I would say what they need to do is have a unification match. War Raiders, New Day, Street Profits, whoever. They need to set that together maybe after WrestleMania, Backlash, SummerSlam, and just create one belt, because having tag team championships for the men's division on 2 separate shows is not working. They're not being highlighted enough. And I think if you just have one belt defended on both Raw and SmackDown, similar to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships that have been a success, they need to do the same with the men's. Now, I know NXT have their own men's tag team belts. That's fine, but they need to make this just one belt. Both belts is just not working. They're not being highlighted. Champs is barely being defended. And we only have one set of tag team champions that's defending the belts at WrestleMania. We know that is the World Tag Team Championships, currently held by the War Raiders. But having 2 belts on 2 different shows for the tag team divisions, it's not a good idea. It diminishes the value of the championships. And also the champion don't look good either. You have a belt, but you never defended it. You're not on TV. You're not on any show. So that needs to change, and hopefully soon. But other than that, that's all I have for WWE Raw go-home show, for WrestleMania go-home show. And we're also talking about here, the bonus, we're talking about why the tag team championships need to just be one. They need to just merge both belts. You guys let me know what you think of that situation. Should they merge them or should it keep the way it is? Check out the content here at Red Carpet Rain. Until then, guys, you already know what it is. It's OUT.